watched about 3 minutes of this video off stream and I realized I immediately needed to react to it on stream. The creator by the name of Brando, with only 1.03k subscribers, I'm going to subscribe to them, I think accidentally made one of the biggest hit pieces on streamers I've ever seen unintentionally. I think everything they say in the beginning of this video that I've seen is pure cinema. It's about to break down to you what I have been saying for years from an outsider's perspective. And I really want to give insight into a lot of the knowledge and a lot of the things that viewers may not be aware of that us creators are. Why do streamers hate Big Walk? Here we go.
Walk has been out for less.
Big Walk is a great game, by the way. I recommend everybody play it. I played for at least 8 hours. This was my wife. We're still playing through this very good game.
In 2 weeks, and somehow it already has one of the strangest reputations of any game released this year. The reviews are glowing, and they sold over 1 million copies in the first week alone. But then you watch people stream it.
All the way up there is another area with 5 slots to put shit in another key.
I don't think that...
We're gonna be here for 15 hours.
So, no one's having fun but me? Nobody?
Okay, am I having fun? Yeah. Am I having enough fun that I want to go do 5 more puzzles that are down at the bottom of the mountain and then have to carry them all the way up to then unlock a key to go to another area to do the same thing, but probably
It's about the fucking journey, man!
Oh, wait, hold up. I think my... hold up, I think my game's... Oh, my God, wait. I think my game's like it...
Do you want to know why streamers like Joe Bartolozzi hate this game? Because they don't have real friends to play the game with. Big Walk isn't about the game. It's about having an environment to have your friends and you have the ability to hang out with. But if it's not making good content, these content creators don't want to hang out with each other. And that is the reality. Not to mention they have to cater to brain rot, low attention span retards in their chat. And that's the reason why streamers hate Big Walk, is because the people they're playing with, they don't like their friends because they don't have friends. They have coworkers.
Like, I don't even like... Oh, have as you did it? Okay. Reason it's not fun. Yeah. Also, that game is just overpriced. Yeah.
And let's also be honest. Jinxie, I think the guy's great. I think Jinxie is hilarious. But one thing's for damn sure. This guy's attention span is completely fucking rotted, so he can't enjoy it on stream. As well as Jinxie actually does not have friends. He doesn't. The closest thing to a friend Jinxie has is Dantes. And I think Dantes and Jinxie's relationship is great. I think if Jinxie played that with Dantes, he would have a great time. But the reality is, Jinxie is another creator where every single person who he's liked has betrayed and backstabbed him and treated him like a retard. So that's the reality for the other reason why he didn't enjoy it as well.
Fuck that.
Charles, would you file this under your type of game?
Not really. Not my kind of friend slop. What about you? Is this your kind of game?
It's cute. Like I'm enjoying it. But...
Yeah, it's cute. It's just I don't know. When I do friend slop, I like the chaos and the fast pace.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And suddenly you'd think we're talking about a completely different game. Some creators are getting bored within just the opening hours of the game, and others are questioning what they're even supposed to be doing. You have entire groups discussing whether or not they should refund the game. So what's happening? I don't think the answer is that streamers just have bad taste. I think the divide comes from something.
I mean, streamers are fucking retarded. Let's be real, like 99% of the people who are big on this platform are people who blew up when they were like 16 or 18, got way too much money, way too much fame, way too many eyes on them way too quick, and never had any hardship put in front of them. So they've never had to grow because their content comes easy because a audience chose them to stay and watch them no matter what. So yeah, they are usually just retarded children because that's what kids like to watch, is other stupid people because it feels relatable to them.
A lot more interesting, but first we need to talk about what Big Walk even is.
And I do just want to clarify this once again. I think Jinxie's awesome. I do.
Walk is the newest game from House, the Aussie developers behind Untitled Goose Game. You and your friends arrive on a huge island filled with landmarks and puzzles, and then you're left mostly alone. There's no giant arrow floating above your head, There's no quest lock.
If any of y'all are in a relationship, buy your girlfriend or wife Untitled Goose Game. It is literally peak for women. It is so good.
Filled with 35 objectives.
I
Nothing
also
immediately
love Untitled
explains
Goose
where
Game.
you're supposed to go. You explore, eventually you discover something interesting, and if you're lucky, you figure out what you're supposed to do with it. But calling Big Walk a puzzle game doesn't quite explain why people like it, because a huge portion of the experience happens between the puzzles. You're walking somewhere.
I want to describe, and I haven't seen anything past this video. This is where I stopped because it was very smart in the first minute or two. Big Walk is a game that emulates what it's like when you and your homies are sitting on a couch, just enjoying each other's company, doing fucking nothing. And that's what the game is. The game isn't about what you do. It's just about giving you guys a place to chill and hang out. Big Walk is essentially, yo, you want to come over and chill in my mom's basement? Yeah, I'll bring my PS2 and some Doritos. That is Big Walk. It brought me back to where I just get to chill. And like, that's why I enjoyed playing it so much with Sophia, because it just felt like we were just chilling and it was something for us to do and hang out. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, we also cuddled while we played it. It was a really nice fucking time, right? It just gives you guys something to do while you just want to be in each other's company. And that's why I think it's a beautifully made game. And that's why it sold so well. I believe it sold over 1 million copies in the first week.
It's in the name of the game. You're talking, you're screwing around with an object you found, you lose somebody, and you hear your friend screaming from halfway across the island. And eventually you realize you spent 20 minutes accomplishing absolutely nothing.
Yep.
For people who love this game, that's not 20 minutes wasted.
Nope.
That's probably the part they're going to remember the most.
Yep.
Which brings me to my main argument. Big Walk is
The game is just being with your friends. Big Walk is lived and died by your social group. If you love your friends, you'll love Big Walk. If you don't love your friends, you won't love this game. And that's the truth. It is just a canvas for you guys to paint your own adventure.
meant for streamers. This game is meant for friends.
Exactly.
Now, what do I mean by that? Streamers are friends, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying these streamers secretly hate each other. So
Hey, I'm gonna be real. Okay, friends. Yeah. I have never been in an industry more where if one person gets a bad hate thread, all of their friends will instantly throw them into the fires of Mordor.
some of them are genuinely close, but there's another layer to these relationships that you and your friends probably don't have. They're also co-workers. When 4 streamers get together to play the newest multiplayer release, they're not necessarily getting online because it's a Friday night and they have nothing better to do. They're making content. Everyone is live. They have their own audience. There's money involved and there's expectations. At some point, somebody probably has another stream, video, sponsor, event, or another game they need to get to. And that completely changes the atmosphere.
Joe's a performative dork too, fake ass dude. And it's a bummer because I actually used to really like Joe Bartolozzi's content when he made a lot of like solo TikTok videos. But once he got a taste of fame and he wanted to start networking, man, he became really fake really fast. The only streamer that cares. Yeah, true.
Because Big Walk is...
It's a bummer how many of my favorite content creators at the time just got completely obsessed with their image and their optics and their ability to network with other large creators, and they threw away everything that made them special to begin with.
designed around the assumption that you actually enjoy doing nothing with the people you're playing with. Think about your closest friends. You can sit in somebody's room for 3 hours and accomplish absolutely nothing. Nobody needs to organize an activity. One person's looking at their phone, somebody's telling a story. You're arguing about something stupid. Maybe you're not even talking. And yet somehow you still had a good time because you're with your friends. This is the exact type of relationship Big Walk is trying to simulate. Now replace that situation with 4 content creators who scheduled a collaboration because a new multiplayer game released. Suddenly, doing nothing feels very different. There's an audience waiting. There's a reason everyone logged on. You're supposed to be doing something. So when Big Walk gives that group a giant stretch of countryside and says, go wander around for a while, the natural response becomes, okay, but where are we going? And I think that's why this game can expose group chemistry very quickly. House House describes Big Walk as a game about hanging out with your friends. That wording matters, because the game relies on a type of social interaction that can't really be manufactured by the mechanics. The developers can give you proximity chat and separate your group. They could give you binoculars, megaphones, and strange objects to play with.
Sophie and I played Big Walk, and there's this segment where you just have to kick a ball into a hoop. And you have to do it 10 times. It took us almost an hour to do it. And I'm not going to lie, I did 8 of them almost instantly. But I wanted her to be a part of it. I wanted her to get the last 2. And that's where the majority of the time went. And even though it was just me watching my wife try to kick a ball into a hoop, and it took so long, I enjoyed every second of that because I got to do it with somebody who I love. And that's why I love Big Walk, is because those mundane moments where you're doing like mindless tedium, those are the times where you get to have like the most fun. So that's why I love Big Walk. It's a very, very, very natural game. It's a very big break from the ADD overstimulation archetype of video games that we currently know. And that's why I think it's great.
They can create situations where something funny might happen, but they can't make you enjoy talking to the other person standing next to you. That's your job. And
I'm going to replay that for emphasis.
binoculars, megaphones, and strange objects to play with. They can create situations where something funny might happen, but they can't make you enjoy talking to the other person standing next to you.
True.
That's your job. And when you're playing with people you've known for years, this isn't much of an ask. The game can disappear into the background. You're not thinking, is this section entertaining? You're having a conversation while moving through it. But when the primary reason everyone is together is to create a stream, the game can't disappear. It needs to provide material.
Yep.
And Big Walk isn't always interested in doing that. For instance, one of the quote-unquote puzzles in the game involves you locking yourself in a room with a 5-minute countdown timer. There is no puzzle. You just sit around and wait for the timer to reach 0, and then you get your orb and you can move on. When me and my friend played this was completely fine. For 5 minutes, we just talked and had a good time. But for streamers, 5 minutes of nothing is an absolute nightmare.
I love it.
You can assemble a group containing some of the funniest creators on the internet and still end up with a boring stream of Big Walk, because individual entertainment value isn't what the game needs. It needs chemistry. Over the last few years, multiplayer games have discovered an incredibly successful formula. Make something relatively inexpensive, let a bunch of friends play together, add proximity chat, give everybody ridiculous physics, create situations where players accidentally kill each other, and let TikTok do the rest.
Yep.
Legal company, content warning, repo, peak. You can call
I would like to say as well, I think all of these games are great. I think all these friend slap games are great. Content warning was probably my favorite. This one was so good. Never played Repo, but I saw great clips.
these games whatever you want, but the internet eventually settled on one particularly beautiful term, friend slop.
Yep.
And considering you can buy this game bundled with Peak, the expectations are you're going to get a game pretty similar to
Yep.
Peak, which is not the case at
Peak is also fucking amazing.
all. But most of these games understand something very important. Your friends provide the comedy while the game provides the conflict. In Lethal Company, your friend screaming is funny because something is trying to kill him. In Peak, your friend falling is funny because you spent 20 minutes climbing and now he's completely screwed. The mechanics constantly manufacture situations
Peak is
for the
so
group.
cute.
Big Walk takes away a lot of that structure. It hands you the ingredients, but it doesn't always cook the meal for you. And if you're accustomed to games
Dude, hearing my homie scream as they fall down the mountain is just like, oh God, so cute, man. So many good memories from that game. And I barely even played it, maybe like 5 or 6 hours. So many good memories in such a short time.
constantly generating funny scenarios, Big Walk can initially feel empty. When you put 5 streamers in Lethal Company, the game can manufacture comedy for them. Some sort of monster appears, someone panics, another person locks a door, everyone's screaming, and that's your moment. Big Walk might give those same 5 people a dirt road, and suddenly the game is relying on a completely different skill. That's why I don't think Big Walk was ever perfectly designed for the modern streamer ecosystem, even though it looks like it could be. It has all the ingredients: proximity chat, large multiplayer groups, funny looking characters, physics, communication, puzzles. It's practically begging to become a giant Twitch game. But underneath all of that is a game built around an incredibly private idea: spending time with people even when there's nothing to do. And that's difficult to recreate when spending time together is also your job. Maybe the funniest irony surrounding Big Walk is that a game seemingly built perfectly for streamers might actually work better when nobody is watching. But I also don't like the response I've seen where everyone who dislikes Big Walk supposedly just doesn't understand it. There are completely legitimate reasons why somebody could dislike this game. The puzzles could be more complex, traveling between locations does take a while, some players need stronger progression to stay engaged, others simply don't.
But I'm saying though, like, you gotta say, those people who say, I don't like Big Walk because you play Big Walk, well then why did you download a game called Big Walk if you didn't just want to do a Big Walk? Like, that's like saying you didn't like this FPS because you downloaded it and you found out it was an FPS. What else were you expecting from a game called Big Walk? It literally, that's like going upset when you went into Burger King and they gave you a burger. What the fuck were you expecting?
Enjoy exploration without a clear objective, and saying, well, you're supposed to make your own fun, doesn't automatically excuse everything. You could use that argument to defend an empty parking lot. At some point, the game has to contribute too. And I think where people disagree over is whether or not Big Walk contributes enough. For some players, the communication system, environments, puzzles, and toys give them exactly enough material
I think it's great.
to create memorable situations. Others just see long stretches where the game isn't offering anything mechanically interesting. And both experiences can be genuine. That's why I don't think the question is really whether Big Walk is good, it's whether you're the type of player that its design works on.
Big Walk is more fun for people who are terrible at video games. Or if you're good at games, invite a bunch of people who are terrible at video games and make them do all the challenges. It is so fucking funny watching people struggle with the easiest games on earth. It is hilarious. There's nothing more wholesome than like watching your girlfriend try to just like kick a ball into a hoop that you could do immediately, but for them, it would take them like 20 minutes. It's so funny.
So why do some streamers seem to hate Big Walk while the people reviewing it seem to adore it? I don't think there's one definitive answer. Some probably expected a different type of game, some just want more mechanical depth, and some groups simply don't mesh well together with what House is trying to create.
Bro, if Asmongold and Kaisi were to play this game with me and Sophia, that might be fucking peak.
But I think the biggest reason comes to downtime. Most games treat downtime as something that needs to be eliminated. Big Walk treats it as an opportunity, and streaming makes that distinction even more dramatic. When you're broadcasting to thousands of people, 5 minutes without obvious progression can feel uncomfortable, and when you're hanging out privately with friends, those same 5 minutes might produce the funniest conversation of the night. Neither reaction proves the other person is wrong, they're approaching the experience with completely different expectations. And that's why I think the divide surrounding Big Walk is actually more interesting than whether the game deserves an 8, 9, or a 10. Because House made a multiplayer game where the most important mechanic isn't climbing, shooting, surviving, or even solving puzzles. It's conversation. Big Walk gives you somewhere to go while you talk. That's basically the entire pitch, and when you think about it, that's exactly what going on a walk with somebody is. Nobody asks their friends to go for a walk because the walking itself is incredibly entertaining. You're not halfway through thinking, holy shit, this walking gameplay is insane. You go because you're spending time with somebody. Maybe you take the wrong path, and maybe you stop somewhere, maybe something weird happens, but the destination was never really where you went. And that's where I think Big Walk either clicks or completely falls apart. If you're waiting for the game to entertain you, you might spend the experience wondering when something is finally going to happen. But if you stop treating the empty spaces as something that needs to be filled, you realize something already is happening. You're hanging out with your friends, and for some people, that's enough. For others, apparently Steam has a pretty generous refund policy.
Such a good video. I think it's a great breakdown of why Big Walk is a genius and also how streamer friend groups are just full of shit.